Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking about the three biggest things that I wish I had known when I first got into SEO. So I'm hoping that this video, it doesn't matter if you are 3 years into your SEO journey or if you're just starting out, this will essentially apply to a lot of you guys, and it should be a good future-proof strategy as well. It can't really get dated, if that makes sense. Now, very quickly, if you guys do want a free 15-minute growth strategy call for your website, make sure to check out casualdash.com. So let's get into the video. So tip number one, and I've said this on a variety of different podcasts before, is scaling out staff. Now, the reason why I say that scaling out staff is important is that obviously SEO is hyper competitive. So if you are, let's say, trying to rank for a keyword, let's pick out accountants in California, right? Accountants in LA. You are, let's say you've got 50 competitors, all 50 are regularly uploading articles and they are also building links. Some might be doing only one, some might only be building content, some might only be building links, and there might be a variety that are obviously doing both. Now, if you think of it, as a business owner, you're not going to be able to run your business, build links, scale out content, do keyword research, make certain that the quality of the content that's been uploaded is obviously to par, re-optimize the content, do technical SEO, do images, obviously trying to rank the images, also trying to do videos, shorts, etc. I've just named 10 things that you actually need to do as an SEO that will essentially help your website rank. Now, if you're trying to do all of that and you are also trying to run your business and you're also trying to speak to clients, do sales calls, that's 15 things that I've just named in the past 2 minutes that you would obviously need to do on top of your SEO campaign. Now, what I would recommend doing is, if you don't want to hire an SEO agency and if you kind of want to keep it in-house, the best strategy that I would recommend to you guys is obviously setting up a process that you know that works. Let's just start off with writing content and obviously keyword research, right? Obviously, try to figure out a keyword research strategy that works for your website, and obviously you might be doing the Ahrefs analysis that I've shown you guys, or you might be doing the PPC strategy where you log into Ads Planner, and then based off of what your competitors are ranking for and what you're not ranking for, that's the type of articles that you essentially start to upload onto your website, right? So let's say you decide to go with the Ahrefs approach. Then what you will probably want to do is pick out a content writing service, whether it is for SEO or auto blogging, for example. Let's say you pick out auto blogging. Then you essentially want to document everything inside an SOP that you can essentially outsource to someone at some point. And one thing I will say when you are looking to scale out your staff for your SEO campaign is the fact that the SOP won't be 100% perfect. It's not the staff that you end up hiring, they're probably not going to be able to do everything 100% like how you want them to do it. Now, the good thing is with hiring staff is the fact that they do become better over time. Initially, it can obviously be slow. They will have questions. For example, how do I log into Ahrefs, or how do I use Ahrefs? So you might need to spend a couple days with them, training them up on your actual SOPs. And over time, they will become better. But one thing to bear in mind in the back of your head as a business owner is the fact that you're going to be able to basically do a lot more with your time. So whether it is closing clients, let's say you're a law firm and you are actually doing the sales calls, that means that you can essentially dedicate a lot more time into refining your sales side of the sales side of your business. So just bear that in mind. Obviously, when you when you hire an initial staff member, they're not going to be perfect. You probably will want to you will probably want to get frustrated with them. But that being said, it's gonna free up a lot more time, and you can essentially start to scale out other sides of your business. Let's say you end up hiring 2 or 3 people to help out with your SEO. You can then start focusing more on the PPC side of stuff, or vice versa. So that's tip number 1. When it comes to scaling out SEO, you need to almost be a very good project manager. And you need to essentially make certain that people are hitting their KPIs, whether it is a link builder that you end up hiring. You might want to set up a KPI to say, right, you need to build, let's say, 25 links a month. And if they can't do that, you need to essentially figure out why they can't do that. Do they not have the right tools? Are they not the right fit? Is it an outreach process? Are they potentially not reaching out to as many websites as possible, etc.? So tip number 1, scaling out staff and almost being a project manager. Biggest tip that is for SEO. Tip number 2 is you don't need to be perfect. The amount of people that I jump on sales calls with or client calls with, and they say something along the lines of, hey Kaz, I've been trying to find these 30 perfect articles, or I've been trying to find these 20 perfect backlinks. In reality, not a single website is perfect. There is always going to be a website with worse content than you that ranks higher than you, with worse quality backlinks that ranks higher than you. This is one thing that Kyle Roof also speaks about as well, very highly. He says, basically, if you're running away from a bear, you don't need to be the fastest to get away. You just need to outcompete the last person, right? So what he means by that is, don't get too bogged down on chasing the best article or the best backlink, because in reality, your competitors don't have the best links, they don't have the best content, especially if you are in local or e-commerce. There's going to always be one thing that you can essentially beat out your competitors. So let's say, for example, if I was to give a number value to each SEO piece, let's say your technical SEO is a 4 out of 10, but your content is a 9 out of 10, and your link building is a 7 out of 10. That's probably going to be just good enough to essentially outcompete a lot of competitors. Now, in time, we can obviously look to improve the technical SEO, which is a 5 out of 10 at the minute. Let's try and boost that up to a 6 or 7 out of 10. Let's do a screaming frog audit. Or on the other side of the spectrum, you might say that your link building is a 0 out of 10, but your content is really good and your technical SEO is really good. That's fine. You can just hire a link building agency to help you with the link building for your website. So over time, you can go from a 0 out of 10 to, let's say, a 5 out of 10 to slowly a 6 and a 7 out of 10. So bear that in mind. You don't need to be perfect. I speak to a lot of people that procrastinate, I would probably say is the right wording. And they don't end up doing anything. They overanalyze things. They are endlessly looking at Ahrefs and SEMrush, trying to figure out, oh, should I write an article for this or should I write an article for that? But in reality, they end up doing nothing. So just bear that in mind. You do not need to be perfect. Very good quote that I have actually mentioned before is, a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. So just start is probably the best way of putting it. If it's potentially you're looking at doing link building and you're not certain about what type of links you need, just start. You'll very quickly figure out what is working and what's not working. And worst case scenario, if something doesn't work, let's say you upload 5 articles and they don't end up ranking after 6 months, you can always delete the articles. Google isn't going to completely penalize your website for uploading 5 or 10 bad articles. So just bear that in mind. Again, there's a lot of businesses that accidentally rank as well. So you need to bear that in mind as well. Like, there's a lot of businesses that don't have an SEO team. They've not hired an SEO. They've not outsourced their SEO at all, but they're just accidentally ranking because they're just doing things right, but they don't know that they're doing those things correctly. So just bear that in mind. And tip number 3, and I think that I highly recommend this to anybody getting into SEO, is testing. Like, I like to test and break things, not necessarily on main websites, but I actually have test domains that I actively do tests on, whether it's link building tests, whether it's technical SEO, whether it's content as well, like scaling out content, seeing how I can break the SERP. So that's the third biggest thing for me is testing day out, testing day in. Especially if you are following some SEO gurus, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's guys like myself on YouTube, test out what we're saying. Maybe not do it on your main website, but throw up a test domain and start testing out things that you are reading, whether it's on blog articles, YouTube videos, Twitter, etc. Because very quickly you're going to end up figuring out what works and what doesn't, and potentially, even if it is a failed test, at least you know what to avoid on your website. So I think that those are the three biggest things that I highly recommend to everyone. So scaling out your staff correctly and making certain that you are proactively looking to improve your SOPs for your staff. Tip number 2, you don't need to be perfect. There's a lot of websites that accidentally rank, and you could be one of them just by essentially starting something today. And tip number 3 is testing. Test everything. If it is an SEO theory that you might have yourself, or if it's something that you potentially have watched on one of my videos, or just a video in general, or potentially it might be a blog article that you've read. Just test everything, and obviously it doesn't need to be on your main website, but it can be on a dummy website. Domains are literally £4 or £5, or like, let's say $10. It doesn't take that long to set up a fresh website and start testing. So those are my 3 biggest tips that I wish I knew when I first got into SEO. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below, and I will answer them. And thanks for watching.